Welcome to the second class of Video Editing Technical Workflow, the online course. Yesterday, we did an introduction on video editing and filmmaking in general, that why films, what happens, why we make films, what is filmmaking, and what happens when an audience receives filmmaking. We also explored some main laws of editing, three main laws of editing. Through these laws, we understood what kind of qualities, what kind of behaviors an editor is expected. Also, we have covered about the history of softwares in brief. We understood about different softwares. We learned about how the softwares developed and how the editing has developed. In this weekend, we will be giving you a link, a film to watch, where you can see the whole history of editing in detail. Okay, so workflow of video editing. This is the topic today that we are going to discuss about. What do we understand by workflow? People have come, so now we can have interactive also. You can comment anytime, whenever you wish. Workflow, step by step achievement of a task. It is, you can call it a process, you can call it algorithmic work, or you can call it workflow. When we were using British English, mostly we used to call it process. When I was learning many of the, what is the editing process, that word was most prevalent. Now, because we use American English more, the word workflow is more. So do not get confused. If editing process, editing workflow, same thing. Like when I was growing up, we used to say hard work is the key to success. Now people say the same thing, but they use the word hustle more. Hard work is a British word, hustle is an American word. So this is just a light note, but in filmmaking, there are many terms like this: script and screenplay. There is no script in filmmaking. Script happens in theater. Films are about screenplays. Whatever happens on screen is that screenplay. So there are many terms, terminologies we will be encountering on daily basis. Today also we will be watching. Yesterday I started the course with this point that your vocab has to be perfect. You have to know about the right words, which word is called what. You have to go to the history. You have to understand these words. Okay, let us start with the today's session, workflow of video editing. There are 13 steps. One by one we will come to all the steps. The first step, before going to video workflow of video editing, let me just briefly talk about workflow of whole filmmaking. Very briefly I will touch upon, then I will come in detail about the editing part. Okay, now when a film is made, what is the first thing that we need to know, that we need to have to make a film? It is not the camera, it is not the story also. Before the story, before screenplay, before production, we need to have an idea. An idea is a thought. So even before edit starts, when you are editing, you need to ask the filmmakers, you need to ask yourself, if you are the filmmaker, what is my idea? And if that idea cannot be expressed in one line, which is called log line technically, you need to recheck about your idea. Any film can be expressed in one line. It should have a character and a dramatic situation. From the idea, we develop a concept. Technically, when we call it synopsis, it is the combination of concept and treatment. Again, when this is not an aesthetical class, but when you are going to become editors, you need to develop concepts and you need to able to give a treatment to your concept. Like yesterday, I was talking about that you cannot put a dubstep or a electronic music in a hospital's ad. So this is called treatment. So logline, or the idea, which is developed into a concept note or treatment note, together called synopsis. Now mind the words. Synopsis or concept note is developed into a story. Story is adapted into a screenplay. Screenplay is divided into shots, which is called shot division. Okay, story, screenplay, shot division. Shot division is then made into floor plan. Floor plan is the pictorial representation of shot division. Then it goes for shoot, which is called production. After production is what we call post-production. And editing is the first stage of post-production that we are going to discuss now. This is in brief, just to give you an idea that from where we have come to editing. Okay, editing cannot start without these processes: development of concept, development of product. Even if you are making a video, corporate video or a simple video, you need to have a pre-production. You need to have a production even if you are shooting with a mobile phone or a red camera phone. Then only you can come to post-production. That is what we are talking about. Video editing, workflow of video editing. The first step, now we'll start with workflow of video editing. The first step in video editing is to dealing with your footage. That you have to know what kind of footage you have. So the footage is coming from a cinema camera, footage is coming from a DSLR, footage is coming from a mobile phone. Big projects and mostly many projects have footages from multiple cameras. The same project will have a footage from a mobile phone. For example, Wolf of Wall Street, a famous film. It has footages from ARRI Alexa. It has footages from Canon 7D. It has footages from iPhone 4. If you have seen the film, those who have seen the film, the part where the actor Leo is crawling to his car, he is very high with cocaine or whatever substance he has taken and he's crawling to the car, that whole sequence is shot with iPhone 4. So the editor has to manage all the shots together, all the resolutions, all the formats, all the bit depths, all the codecs, and import into the software and work. Right, all these technical terms we will learn. What is bit depth, what is resolution, what are different formats. Tomorrow we have a video format class. Okay, so first we need to know what all formats we have, what all things we need to do. So it is very easy. If you're using a Mac, you go and right click on your video file and go to get info. If you're using a Windows, you go and right click on your video file and go to properties. So get info on Mac and properties on Windows. A new window will appear. Here you have your metadata. Okay, size of the file, duration of the file is the data, name of the file is the data. Metadata is what is the resolution of the file, what is the frame rate of the file. We will understand all those things later also. We will come to metadata in detail in later classes. Okay, so first process the editor does is that to check the files. What resolution we have, what camera we receive the file from, what is the format of the file, then how many files are there. Then we need to make separate folders. We need to convert these files into whatever right codecs are. Tomorrow we will understand, tomorrow and day after we will understand what codecs will be right for our editing. Okay, so editor arranges the whole footage. That is the first step. That is your first step in when you're starting video edit, that you understand, deal with your footage. You know, you see the before watching the footage, before even watching the footage, you watch the metadata of the footage. What are the cameras that are coming from, what resolutions they have, what video formats they have, what codecs they have, and then you decide what will be your strategy going ahead. How will you deal with the footage? Which footage you will convert to which resolution you will keep the main resolution, which format you will keep the main format, and other formats it has to be converted into that. Now the modern software, some of the softwares can convert on their own. Some of the file formats you have to convert manually with a separate software. Okay, so this is the step number 1, dealing with the footage. Step 2 is watching the footage. Now this is the most important step in video editing. This is the most important step, even more important than starting the cutting. Watching the footage. I have experience of 15 years in video editing. You guys are starting out. Suppose we both get the same footage and I don't watch the footage thoroughly, or I don't watch the footage, I directly take it on the editing software and start cutting to save time and whatever. And you watch the footage thoroughly. So a fresh editor like you will beat a 15 years old experienced editor like me just by watching the footage thoroughly. Watching the footage gives you an idea about the world. Even the director, cinematographer will not know what kind of footage they have, because you will know better than them, because you have seen it twice, thrice, and you know nitty-gritties of the footage. An editor must know, this is a quote from senior editors, an editor must know footage like a back of their hand. So a leaf is moving in that direction, a motorcycle crossed that human in that direction. Each and everything you need to memorize, and to do that, there is a very simple trick. Use pen and a paper while watching the footage. It is also called paper edit. That paper edit you have to show to no one. That is only for you. Okay. So you watch the footage thoroughly, you make a paper edit, you make your notes that what this is your strategy paper. This need not be shared with anyone. This is for you. Entire during till the rough cut, you need to keep this paper with you. Okay. Watching the footage, I've given an example. I've given a theory that if you even as experienced editor will not survive, will not create a good cut if he has not watched the footage thoroughly or properly. Okay. More and more footage you watch, better and better your cut will be. You will know from where you can solve a particular problem. Suppose the director and the cinematographer or the actor has faltered in certain way. You know there is an NG shot or there is some other shot where we can keep that shot and we can use, we can manage, we can salvage the situation. It is your job. It is your job to learn the footage for every project. As much as you are getting paid for editing a video, you are paid. The first step is to watch the footage, know the footage thoroughly. I cannot emphasize it more that this is the most important step in the whole workflow of film editing or video editing. This is the second step. First step was dealing with the footage. We converted files here and there, we arranged. And then second step, we watch the footage once and twice. And then when after the importing, we will watch it again, at least thrice. Okay. Now, the third stage, we have watched the footage now and we have made paper notes. Now we know what will be the structure of our video. Apparently, in our head, on the paper we know, or we have made a strategy. So according to that, we will organize our footage in our folders. This is also very important. An organized folder structure will save our time, will enhance our edit. So while we are editing, when we are going from rough cut to final cut or first assembly to rough cut, the knowledge, the organized structure of our folder will help us to put any footage, demand any footage, add any footage, and also it is helpful for your computer to read files. Suppose you organize it according to the video formats that you have, or you organize it according to the day wise, or you organize according to the scenes or the sequences or the structure of the video. Similar kind of video, it is faster for your RAM also to read. And forget about RAM and processor, it is for your brain and your process, your workflow, streamlined workflow that the footage should be arranged. These are the differences between an amateur and a professional editor. Amateur editor has started already to edit. A professional editor has come to the third step and still the editing has not started. All this preparation is very important before starting the buttons to cut. Okay. So you organize the footage. Now it is up to you and up to the project also. The kind of project you have, kind of personality, editing personality you have, the way you organize the footage, it is up to each editor, how they are organizing the footages. Step 4. You have dealt with your footage. You have watched the footage thoroughly. You have organized the footage. Now you come to the software, but not to cut, but to set up the software. You know your footage, what metadata it has, what frame rate it has, what codec it has, what kind of resolution it has. Now you set up your software according to that footage and also according to your output. You need to know now that your video is going to the television, your video is going to YouTube, your video is going to Facebook. YouTube and Facebook are different. Television and online are different. Theatrical distribution is different. If you are going for theatrical distribution, you have to give an output in DCP, digital cinema package. If you are going to television, you have to give an output in MOV or ProRes. If you are going for a YouTube upload, you have to give an output on MP4. Or for Facebook, the required format or the preferred format is WebM or some other kind of format, MP4, H.265, other formats. So now you set up your editing software, not just based on the what footage you have, also based on what output you want. Where do you want to put this footage? Okay. I hope everyone is with me right now. If you want to ask any questions, like you can ping me up over here. Now, you have watched the footage thoroughly. You have organized the footage. now you have set up the software also. You have set up the folder system. You have set up the organized set up the software and organized your is now ready to edit. Okay, you cannot just ignore this process. You have to pay attention that all the things are the setting preferences, whatever software you're using, the setting. If you go to file or you go to the main help section, see one break I will take, and I will just inform you that whenever you are facing a problem with a software, go to the help section. Software tells itself. Software will tell you what you need to do with that. Whenever you are stuck in something, you need to learn what you want to find. You need to understand that. So for example, I am telling you system preferences, system settings, sequence settings. You go and find out. Your help section will tell you whatever software, any new software will come in 2024, you will be able to do it. The functions will be the same. Okay, let me come back to the workflow topic that we were discussing. Setting up the software is the dealing with the software, watching the footage. Then the third was organizing the footage. Fourth was setting up the software. Okay. Fifth stage is importing the footage and organizing it in the software. Importing the footage. Now, Command I for Macs and Control I for Windows. In any software, it will import the footage. Whenever you go open a software, you do Control I or Command I, and the window will open up. Your folder finder window or your Explorer window in Windows, it will open up, and you can find your files wherever you have kept the file, and you can import the file. Now, importing it, not just clicking a button and importing it. First of all, when you are importing in any software, you have to set up the software first. Without setting up the software, do not import any file. Now, when you are importing the software will read the file first. So stop now. In Adobe Premiere, you can see a bar in the right corner stating conforming. So stop, let it conform. Then only you touch the footage. In FCP, there will be a wheel at the top which will be rotating. So let it rotate, let it stop, let it complete full cycle, and then only you start touching the softwares. Now, importing the software means what? See, these footage which you are importing and which you have already imported, you will be putting it to timeline, you will be editing it, you will be cutting the footage. Which software is good? And you are talking about which software is good. I have told already yesterday. Please watch yesterday's video. I have told there are 3 types of softwares: consumer, prosumer, and professional. All professional softwares are good. If you want a simple answer, but if you want a detailed answer, go to the next class 1 part 2 video. Okay, I am talking about Adobe Premiere, I am talking about FCP, I am talking about Blackmagic Resolve, I am talking about Avid, I am talking about all the softwares, all the professional softwares. All these concepts that I am talking about is okay. It has to be worked in all the softwares. Okay, I am talking about workflow of film editing, not the workflow of software. In all the software, you have to do this. Control I will import from Windows. If the software is on Windows, Control I. If the software is on Mac, Command I. Okay, I hope now I am clear for about softwares. The last part of the second part that I have explained thoroughly over there about which software. Yesterday the question was asked, which is a good software. So all the professional softwares are good softwares. Now, importing. Now, when we have imported a footage, we will be cutting it, we will be changing its properties, we will be coloring it, we will change the sound, we will change many things. So when we are changing all those things on the timeline, you will see that the main footage, the untouched, the footage that is kept, the video clip that is kept in your hard disk or hard drive, that doesn't change. You put color, you cut it, that remains intact. Why it remains intact? We have imported the footage, we are changing it. Why it is becoming impact? Importing doesn't mean copying. Importing means importing. So what computer is doing when you're importing the software, importing the footage into the software, your software, not the computer, your software is making a reference files in your computer. So when you set up the software, there will be an option that they are giving in different softwares. Then some softwares have a default space like Avid. Avid may you cannot choose. In Avid you cannot choose that, okay, I want to keep my footages here, I want to keep my reference file here. No. In other softwares you can choose. In Avid, the Avid will select wherever it wants to keep in the in your computer. Okay. So now when you import the footage in the software makes a reference file somewhere in the computer that you have designed, you have given the path to. If you don't give a path, it will automatically make in the C drive or the main drive of the computer. Okay. Now that reference file, also called as render file, is the connecting file of your timeline. And that render file is connected to the main video clip. If it is getting confusing, I will repeat again. You have imported the footage from your hard drive. The software creates a separate reference file of this imported footage, reference file. So this file, the imported footage, imported clip in your software is asking the reference file. Whatever changes you do is happening to the reference file. The reference file is also connected to the main file. If you delete the main file or if you remove the main file from the hard disk, all these things will go away. So when you are starting to edit, when you are importing the footage from one position, remember you cannot shift the footage from here to there, from one drive to another drive, on one folder to another folder. Otherwise, your whole software will give a message called media offline. Whatever footages you have shifted, those clips will come media offline. And whenever you get media offline, many editors get confused. What is this media offline? Media offline means your footage has gone. Either it is deleted or it is removed from the place where the software is connecting it. Okay. FCP Final Cut Pro 10, it has now it has dropped in the latest update. It has dropped the name 10. It is now only FCP. Still, FCP 10 or FCP, it has some more features while importing. It has an algorithm, artificial intelligence algorithm, which analyzes the footage also. If there are some sound issues or some color issues, it can optimize the footage also for the software. So I advise not to do all those things, because the algorithm can do anything. Rather than doing with the algorithm, we can ourselves do in the software and we can have full control over that. But it can do, and some simpler videos in future will use, and now also many people use those things. FCP also automatically converts file formats, as I told you yesterday. MP3 it converts into WAV. MP4 it converts into ProRes. Whatever MP4 or whatever AVI you put, it will convert into ProRes, and it optimizes the footage to work properly in the timeline. Now Adobe Premiere, Blackmagic Resolve, they will be also bringing the same features also into that. Okay, so you have imported the footage, and while you have imported, and whenever you do any changes in that footage, it will ask again and again to render it. The software will ask you to render the footage. Render means reconnecting it with the reference file that you are made. If you change something, you have put titles into it, you have put text into it, you have put some color, or you removed a color, it will again ask to render it. Rendering, the word means, it has come from performance arts. Rendering means present, to present. She is rendering an opera. I render you this lecture. Okay, presenting. So rendering means the software is presenting the video to play smoothly, to have a smooth playback. So here, important thing to note is that you organize the footage properly before importing. Do not use any plugins or any artificial intelligence to automatically correct your footage. There is nothing to correct. You can correct everything manually. And you should, a professional editor should correct everything manually. No, do not depend on the artificial algorithm. They are not powerful yet. Also important to know for a professional editors that a reference file is created somewhere in the computer. So sometimes you have older projects, you have come to a new project and your computer is slow. And you cannot understand why it is slow. And you do not know why so much of space has been covered in my C drive or wherever. So if the project has been gone, you take a backup of the project file in the sense the software file, not the video file. You take a backup of the project file and you delete all those reference files that or render files, reference files or render files, whatever, same thing, that the software then itself has created into the in your computer. Okay, so this was stage number 5. Okay, first was dealing with the footage, second was watching the footage thoroughly, third was organizing the footages into your folder, fifth was importing the footage, sixth is again reviewing the footage again and organizing it in your software. You have organized the footage in the hard drive. Now you need to organize the footage in the software itself. There are bins, there are folders. In different softwares have different structures, but you need to organize. Whenever you import, you need to put, okay, bin number 1 or bin number 1 or scene number 1, scene number 2, different folders. In the softwares also there are different folders. Okay, so you organize the footage in that and you review the footage, that whatever you have imported, everything has come or not. All this footage are there not. In this process, you will watch the footage once more. That is a good thing. More and more footage you watch, better and better your edit will be. Okay. So number 6 is again, you review the footage again. Okay. You review the footage, you see, you check whether everything has come proper or not. Sound, you can listen to the sound of the videos. You can see things that that you are playing in your VLC or media player or QuickTime. The same kind of thing is been shown in the software or not. And when you're confirmed, now you start editing. So 7 stages have gone now, and now we will start to cut. Okay, and how do we cut? In every software there will be a project folder where the footages are there, and there will be a viewer, a window where we see the footages. Okay, so if you click on this file, that file will run in the window. It is very simple. Okay, now what you need to do, you need to see each and every clip, and you have your paper edit, you have your screenplay with you, and the next stage number 7 is the first assembly. This is called first assembly. Okay, you just assemble your shots. Right now you don't edit, you just take out, okay, this shot I need here, this shot I need here. It is not fine-tuned. Even the director's action or cut, even that can come. It is not a problem. You just arrange the shots according to your story. One by one, you have arranged the shot according to what you thought that this will be the structure of the film. This is called first assembly. This is the next stage of workflow of video editing. So first assembly is just the flow of the story. Nothing else. It is not fine-tuned. It is very rough. Nothing has been done to it. Just placement of shots. And you see that placement of shots, whether it is right or not. And when you get experienced, automatically while watching it, you will start the rough cut. Now that is the next step number 8, rough cut. Rough cut is something where you edit out unnecessary parts. You have edited out already unnecessary parts when you have selected in and out of during the first assembly. You selected in and out, many other parts you have already rejected. Now on the timeline you reject, you keep only those things which are necessary for the story. There might be some new ideas, there might be the ideas that you have written on the paper during your paper edit. There are ideas which the director has given you, or the producer has given, or the client has given you on the paper. And according to those ideas, you prepare a rough cut. Now this is the stage. Yesterday I was talking about that editors should not go to a shoot. One thing I missed telling you, but that was not relevant yesterday. Now I tell you today that editor should not go to the shoot. That is okay. The cinematographer should not also come to the edit. They do not understand structure. They do not understand rhythm. I am not saying all the cinematographers are like that, but generally they are focused on frames. They are focused on light. Okay. They do not understand that this guy is walking slowly and that shot he is walking fast. Whether that shot has some different kind of framing, that is okay for the audience. The more important thing is he is walking in the right time so that I can have the rhythm. All these things can create a clash between the cinematographer and the editor. Cinematographers must not be allowed. Even the director should not be allowed. This is the time. Like if director has, if it is a short film, let him take a break for 2-3 days. If it is a feature film he has shot, let him take a break for 2 weeks. Meanwhile, you come till rough cut. You watch the footage, you do all the things necessary, you do the first assembly, and you make the rough cut. Now you invite the director to your edit bay. Still, you don't invite the cinematographer, only the director. And director and you, now you guys can go to the next stage together. That is called final cut. Here, all rough cut is the full story that we have, and final cut is the final addition or removal. There can be no scope for any edit changes later on. So all the stakeholders, director, producer, client, whoever they are, they should be shown the final cut. Even the cinematographer now, they should be shown the final cut. Okay, rough cut and then final cut. This will be number 9. Okay, now after final cut, professionally, now first I will tell professionally, then I will come to new editors, beginners like you, individual editors like you, small video creators who are doing it for YouTube or some corporate clients. First I will tell about the bigger productions, feature film productions and other things. The editor's work finishes during at the final cut. Now you don't have to do anything. You have created the story, you have done the final cut. Now what is needed? You give 2 separate output. One to the VFX and color grading department and another to the sound post-production department. To the sound post-production department, the video file is compressed. That is not very important, but they need it for reference. And the sound file is given in a various different formats with the handle length also. It is not just exported handle length, in the sense the clip that you have selected, you give plus or minus 5 seconds handle length. That is, what is that? When they import it into their audio editing software, they can have 5 seconds handle length. 5 seconds plus, 5 seconds minus, they can go. Okay. That is a separate issue. We are not going much into that. So sound people will get this file. Color and color grading and VFX people, they don't have to do anything with the sound. They do not want a sound file, but they want a full resolution, full output, and then they will have that, and it is called online editing. Now this is the time I will give you one more terminology, and this you can try it on your friends also, and I'm sure everyone will be wrong. You try it in your upcoming new filmmaking friends. Ask them what is the difference between online edit and offline edit. Most of the people will say that online editing means live editing, that switching wala editing, that is called online editing. No, that is called live editing. Live editing is called live editing. Okay, the difference between offline edit and online edit, you can have this experiment. All of the people I've asked, they say, who are not filmmakers, who do not understand, who have not worked in filmmaking, they get confused. Even the wedding industry people, normal video production people, they have this wrong perception. Offline edit means editing on down converted resolution. Online editing means editing on full resolution. Suppose you have a DSLR and you shoot in 1920 1080 resolution, full HD resolution, and you import in your software. You have a 4GB or 8GB RAM. You can edit on full resolution. That is online editing. What happens in big productions, and if you converted those file into some smaller files and edit, that is called offline editing. What happens in big productions, the Red Camera, RE Alexa, these files are very heavy files. So even with the stronger machines, you have to down convert it for edit purpose, and when you output it in a full resolution. So you are editing offline, but when it goes to color correction or color VFX, we call it online editing. When the grading is happening, VFX is happening, that must happen on the full resolution. That cannot happen in the low resolution. You have to give a full resolution file to these people, VFX and color grade people, and that is online editing. So editing on full resolution is called online editing. Editing on down converted resolution is called offline editing. Okay, so it goes to VFX and CC people. They are online editing. They do not touch the sound. They just work on the visuals. They change the color. They do color correction, color grading. You also will learn color correction, color grading in this, concepts of color correction and color grading in this class. And because a video editor must be able to do everything, but in professionally speaking, editor doesn't do that. In feature films, editor doesn't do that, but in video, editor has to do everything. color guy, VFX guy will do the color VFX. Now cinematographer is responsible for color also. The cinematographer goes and sit in the color. More than the editor, cinematographer is responsible for color correction. He doesn't operate with his hand, but he has to go and sit and he has to decide, okay, this color and this image we want. Sound guy will send the sound file, color guy will send the file. The editor gives the final output. It is editor that they give the final output and the master copy is sent for screening. So these are the, so if you can, like I came up to Final Cut is 9th. You can, in your condition, in this classes, in this courses condition, we are the sound guy, we are the color grading guy, we are the VFX guy. And we will learn in that in non-linear editing systems, FCP, Adobe Premiere, in this professional editing systems, what are the right steps taken to do VFX and what be basic VFX and basics and sound, which will look professional. How much we can do, we will come one by one in later classes. So 10th is sound post-production, 11th is color grading, 12th is VFX. And the last stage of video editing workflow is the export. Export and file delivery, both you can say, or you can separate it. Now export, as I've already told, you must know when you are setting up the software, you should know where your file is going. Now you have edited it, you know what resolution was there, what codec was there before the edit, what resolution, what codec is there during the edit, and what resolution, what codec you need to export. You are giving it to YouTube, you are giving it to Facebook, you are giving it to TV, you are giving it to theaters, you are giving it to particular OTT. Each and every OTT, you go to Netflix and Prime, they have this full documentation, what specifications that need, which cameras are approved cameras for their OTT. All those specifications are there. Those specifications need to come in your export settings. You need to understand about metadata, that all this metadata files should not be lost while you are exporting. Okay, we have a full class on exporting. We will explore that later in 3rd week. And finally, the file delivery. Now, file delivery is something, see, export, one more point I will add in export, that many people, even us, many times we just got one export and done and we upload it. Okay. Generally speaking, for clients, when we do corporate films, we have to give multiple export. One main file and one file for this resolution, one file for that resolution, one file will go to the MD, one file will go to this guide, one file is going to come with changes. So multiple resolution, a professional editor gives multiple outputs, multiple exports before giving the final main output. Okay. And then last is file delivery. File delivery, you have just cut and exported it, that is not enough. You need to reach out, you need to send the file, and many people find it a problem in sending the file. One professional website for using all this send of the file for filmmakers is cinesend.com. This not many people know. Cinesend, CINESEND, cinesend.com. This is used world over, okay, for heavy files, because right now 5 of our films, our production films, was selected to Shorts.tv. Shorts.tv is an OTT platform for short films in London. You can check out their online thing, Shorts.tv. Now 5 of our films they selected. One film which I directed was 35 minutes. Some film was 10 minutes, some film was 12 minutes. Most of the films were 10-12 minutes. One film was 35 minutes. Now we have to send ProRes files to this OTT platform. We cannot send MP4, or we have to send the full size ProRes file. And 35-minute ProRes files goes up to 40 GB. 10-minute file goes up to 20 GB. So I had 180 GB of total files to send. There is no platform which can send this amount of file except Cinesend. Cinesend is an excellent platform where you can keep a poster, keep your file details, keep a list of cast and the crew, and from that directly you can send to festivals, or directly you can send to the client or any OTT platform or anywhere else. Okay, so this is the last step. I will just repeat quickly all the steps in the video editing workflow, and I will conclude this lecture for today. And in some time the practical video will be uploaded. We have taken a 6-shot exercise that our students do over here, and those 6 shots exercises the students do in the first day itself, first 2 days itself. So it is very amateur. The shoot is very amateur. They are just very fresh students. So we have just taken one exercise and we have just arranged the 6 shots, edited the 6 shots, and that editing of 6 shots became 27-minute, 30-minute one video. So you watch that video and all the step-by-step process that I have told you, we have written it over there that this is step 1, this is step 2, this is step 3, and we have used Adobe Premiere to show you because that is the most popular software right now, we know, with the students. So dealing with the footage, knowing what footage is coming from which software, organizing the footage according to the resolutions files. The second stage is watching the footage thoroughly. More you watch, better your edit will be. The editor must know the footage like back of their hand. Third is organizing the footage on your computer. Fourth is setting up your software. Fifth is reviewing the footage. Fifth is importing the footage on your software. Importing, I have told you about the whole theory of importing, the science behind importing. Then you review the footage again, organize the footage on your software. Then you start cutting. Basically not cutting, you start assembling. Okay, arranging, joining the shots according to the story. That is called first assembly. Then you cut out. Then the cutting starts. So this is 7th, 8th stage is cutting is happening. You arrange the shots. First assembly, then you cut, you remove our unnecessary part, you now trim it finally and make it rough cut. You show rough cut can be shown first. Don't show anyone the first, don't show the client first assembly. If you have a corporate client, show him the final cut because they are not filmmakers, they cannot visualize. If your client is a filmmaker, for example, a director, you can call him to show the rough cut. Take feedback on the rough cut and make a final cut. And then go for VFX, color correction, sound. So in this video that we are uploading, we have muted we have not shown VFX, color and sound because that would have expanded the video more. We will do VFX, color and sound in nonlinear editing softwares detail in later classes. Then exports. What exports are giving, you need to know where your file are going. You need to understand the aspect ratios of your destination. And then final delivery. vtransfer.com, cinesend.com. These are two good file delivery methods. Google Drive is also one. There's one technology called FTP, File Transfer Protocol. Cinesend is a kind of FTP. FTP is used by all the news channels. Suppose something happens in a village near Pune and you have to send footage to Delhi, the main headquarters. So they will shoot the footage, they will come to Pune to some FTP center and they will upload the footage and FTP file transfer protocol that will go, but it is costly. It is very costly. All those things, vTransfer, Cinesend, all these things are free. For you guys, for newcomers, these files are enough. Okay, so this was the workflow of video editing theory. Practical we will see in some time, it will be uploaded. And the PDF file is also there. Whatever I have said, you can access the PDF file just to get a highlight of it. And I hope in this video you have understood. If any questions, you can put your questions over here. I can answer live, or the WhatsApp group is now open. You can answer the WhatsApp group. You can put questions in the WhatsApp group. We will answer in our own time, but we will answer all the questions. And do not spam the WhatsApp group. It is an academic group. Please keep sanctity of that group, and no kind of greetings and anything else is required. But you can speak about anything related to video editing over there. You can put any links to video editing which will help us, which will help other students to know about video editing. You are free to post anything related to video editing, nothing else. Okay. And when later on, when this course finishes, this group will be there. And whatever work you're doing, we would like to see your work. We will give you a feedback. Even after the course, we will give you feedback on your work. And whatever job opportunities we are having, work from home or offline, whatever, we will post. After this course, we will keep posting on this WhatsApp group also. Google Classroom is there to access to materials. That's it. Tomorrow's class, I will give a preview of tomorrow's class. Tomorrow, I will bring a whiteboard. Tomorrow, there will be no notes. Now, this is a challenge for you. Okay, tomorrow you need to, whenever you watch the video, you need to have a pen and a paper. Tomorrow is not about information. Tomorrow will be about understanding the concepts of video formats. MP3, MOV, AVC HD, film format, tape format, digital format. Someone is sending the file, someone is making a video somewhere in the television station, through the air it is sending. You are watching on your screens. How are you watching this on your screens? So the science behind this we are going to understand, not very technical. I will explain in very lucid terms, but I will use a whiteboard and I'll write on the whiteboard to make you, I'll draw some things to make you understand. Tomorrow is understanding. There will be no interaction also. I'll not be asking you anything that you know this, you know that. Most of the things you will not know, I know. Okay. So tomorrow that will happen. Video formats, very important. The link will be put like today, and you can access it anytime. Whatever things you want to ask now or later, you can ask later. Thank you people for attending today's class. In some time, we will upload the practical video. Okay. Thank you.